911. What's your emergency? Silence. Then breathing. Then a whisper so close to the receiver, it sounds like it's inside the dispatcher's own ear. He's still in the house. There is a room you will never see. No windows. Just a wall of screens and a headset, and a voice that answers when everything has already gone wrong. The people who work there have a word for the worst nights. They call them the quiet ones, not because nothing happens, because of what you can hear underneath the silence. What follows are 3 calls, 3 voices that reached out into the dark and found someone listening. Every detail is drawn from the kind of cases that haunt the people who took them. Keep the lights on. Number 3. It came in at 3:42 in the morning. A woman, calm. She told the dispatcher she needed to report a break-in, but she didn't whisper, and she didn't cry. She spoke the way you'd order coffee. The dispatcher asked if the intruder was still inside. No, she said. He left. He's been gone for hours. Standard call. Officers dispatched. The dispatcher kept her talking, as they're trained to do. Asked her to describe the man, and the woman described him perfectly. The height, the jacket, the way he limped on the left leg. Then the dispatcher asked how she got such a good look at him in the dark. There was a pause, a long one. Because, the woman said, he's standing behind you. The dispatcher froze. She was alone in the call center. She turned around. Nothing. Empty room. And when she turned back to the line, the woman was laughing, softly, the kind of laugh that isn't meant to be heard. When officers arrived at the address, they found the house empty. No woman. No furniture. The place had been vacant for 2 years, but the phone line they traced the call to was active. It was registered to that address, and the last bill had been paid in cash, the week before, by someone the landlord described only as a man who limped. The dispatcher quit the next month. She told no one why. She said only that for the rest of her life, she would never sit with her back to a door again. Number 2. A child's voice. A little boy, maybe 6 years old. He called from a cell phone, and the first thing he said was, "My mommy won't wake up." The dispatcher's stomach dropped, the way it always does with a child. She softened her voice, asked where mommy was. The boy said she was on the kitchen floor. He'd been trying to wake her since the cartoons ended. The dispatcher kept him talking, got the address from a piece of mail he read out, letter by letter, the way kids do. Help was on the way. And to keep him calm, she asked him about his day. He told her about his dog, about his drawings. And then, almost as an afterthought, he said, "The other man told me to call you." The dispatcher went still. "What other man, sweetheart?" "The man who comes at night," the boy said. "He's the one who put mommy on the floor. He said if I was a good boy and called, he'd let me keep watching cartoon." Then, in the background of the recording, you can hear it. A floorboard. A single, slow creak, and the boy's voice drops to a whisper. Suddenly, as if remembering a rule. "He's coming back now. He told me not to say. I have to go." The line went dead. Officers reached the house in 4 minutes. They found the mother. They found the boy, safe, sitting in front of the television, exactly as promised, watching cartoons. But the back door was open, and in the soft dirt of the garden, leading away into the trees, there was a single set of footprints. Adult, heavy. The boy never spoke of the man again. When asked, he'd only say the same thing, that the man kept his promise, and that he might come back someday to watch cartoons too. Number 1. This is the one the night shift doesn't talk about. The call lasted 11 seconds. There was no voice, no words at all, just a sound. A wet, rhythmic dragging of something heavy being pulled across a floor that hadn't been cleaned in a long time. The dispatcher did what they all do. said the words. 911. What's your emergency? Hello? Is anyone there? The dragging stopped. And then, very close to the phone, something inhaled. A long, deep breath. The sound a person makes when they've been holding it for too long. And finally let go. Then the call ended. It would have been written off. A pocket dial. A glitch. Except the system traced it. And the number it came from belonged to a man who had been reported missing 8 months earlier. His phone had been switched off the entire time. The last ping, 8 months ago, was from a stretch of highway with nothing around it but forest. This call pinged from the exact same spot. They searched the woods. They found his car, right where it had been abandoned, rusted now, swallowed by weeds. The phone was still inside it, on the passenger seat, dead. The battery had corroded into a green ruin. There was no possible way that phone had made a call, but it had. At 3:33 in the morning, and the dispatcher who took it, a 20-year veteran who'd heard everything, listened to the recording exactly once. Then she asked that it be sealed. She said the breathing on that tape didn't sound like it was coming from a man. She said it sounded like it was coming from something that had learned to imitate one. These 3 calls were closed, filed, stamped. But out there, the phones are still ringing. Some of them from numbers that shouldn't exist, from rooms that are empty, from people who are already gone. And somewhere, right now, a dispatcher is putting on a headset, pressing a button, until saying the words, 911. What's your emergency? And waiting to hear what answers back. If this one kept you up, subscribe to Midnight Files and turn on notifications. The next call is already ringing.